Hello, hello, hello. Fine Friday to y'all today. It's a beautiful day outside, as you can tell. It's very bright in my apartment. I basically didn't even need to turn any lights on. In fact, if I did, it just would make everything look way more washed out than it actually is. I'm going to scooch over a little bit. Today, we are playing something very exciting. I'm so excited to finally get to show y'all this game. This is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I am playing on Xbox One X. I don't have my next-gen console until next week, but I know at some point Sean will probably stream this on the new console. But today, we're going to be playing on Xbox One X, but it doesn't matter because this game looks great on Xbox One X. Of course, we're going to play the first couple hours of the game, so if you're not watching this live, if you're watching the VOD, of course, this will be up. It'll be just the first 2 hours of the game, which is pretty exciting because I'm basically starting fresh on a new profile today. There are autosaves, so I could have done some save manipulation, but I decided, you know what, let's just start from the beginning. So let's just jump in on normal difficulty. Ooh, I forgot there's stealth difficulty settings in this game as well. So if you're like Sean Capri, because I know he doesn't love stealth, you can actually switch the stealth to easy, or if you're a stealth person like me, you can actually make it really hard. But since we're on stream today, I'm just going to play everything on the normal settings at this point. Just give y'all an idea as to what the normal game actually is like. So I've actually been playing this game since last week. Last Wednesday. Well, not last week, I should say. I've been basically playing it since Wednesday, but I've been playing it nonstop. I basically played it for about 15 hours since Wednesday night. So yeah, I'm excited to let y'all see some of this game for sure. We're gonna kind of let the reading play out here, and I'll be quiet.
All was dark. There was no sand. There was no sea. No earth, nor sky. No grass, nor wind. Till fire met ice in the gasping void. And from this scream came the giant Ymir, first of all beings. Proud Ymir, cruelly killed, yet from whose bones and blood and brains the world was made. The world you walk and war upon.
All right, here we go. The beginning of the game. So at some point, you'll be able to select your character between male or female Erebor. We're not at that point in the game, though. Actually, at the beginning of the game, you just start as default Erebor, which with just a shaved head, you know. But it doesn't let on gender or anything like that, which is actually interesting design. And there's actually like a reason why why it allows you to select that. That has to do with the story that we'll get into in a little bit. All right, so I'm on team inverted, folks, so I need to make sure to invert my controls. So we're going to walk around. Of course, playing as children is always really scary in games because, like, everything in the world is, like, way bigger than you. So it's just, you know, it makes everything a little bit more scary. Or just makes me remember what it was like to be a kid, I guess, which was so long ago.
Go. So, you see our king? Yes, good. Come, Eva. Did you find
Making sure to mute my phone.
Yes. Now for our little plan. You see us talking. Quiet as a wood mouse. And surprise him with our gift.
Are wood mice surprisingly quiet? I don't know if that's an attribute I would attribute to wood mice, but sure.
Dear Björn King, may our clans be forever bonded in friendship and in love. You think you can do that for me? Good. Tonight, you will be the cord that unite our people. I'm so proud of you, Eva.
Yeah, so we can walk by, we can dance. Oh, we can wait for this guy to come by, I guess.
I'm ready to fight.
Of course, they're just carrying a drunk person around with the thing that he's sitting on. Here, we can hold Y to dance, and just dance with these random folks here. Look at that! Look at that little jig that we got going on here. Although it's interesting with the little coin purse on his back, because it's like you would think that it's like jiggling with some kind of chain, but it looks the way it's like bouncing like on its own there. Like, look, it's not even attached to anything. It's very, very bizarre. All right, so let's actually proceed with the story. That was fun and all. Dancing, doing a little jig is fun, but let's actually go see what's going on with this story.
Oh, no drink in your fist? Come on, I'll find you something.
I can't. I have accepted for your father.
Oh, what a piece. That must be worth 2 sturdy long ships. Give it here. I'll pass it on.
My father asked me, Sigurd.
Suit yourself. But you're not getting any mead.
Oh man, if only I got some mead. Sigurd's a good guy though. He's very nice to offer mead to his like very visibly younger sister or younger brother, depending on which we choose. Also, I'm very jealous. Shout out to Donnie Reese for posting a picture on his Twitter indicating that he has the Xbox Series X, and I'm burning with insane jealousy right now, Donnie. I just want you to know that.
Mother,
Yes,
can we show Sigurd the canstones he stacked yesterday?
that's a good idea. We'll do that in the morning. First light.
Everyone here likes to get drunk. That's apparently a thing in the Viking days of old.
Now go. You have a gift to deliver.
And once again, the coin purse is like going in, bouncing independently of Erebor's body. I guess it's very bizarre.
Eivor, wait.
Also, I was saying Erebor, but it's actually Eivor with a V instead of a B.
Tonight, we all made the news. Go!
I'm a big fan of those smoke effects. They look very smoky.
Eivor,
King, may our clans be forever bonded in friendship and love.
Thank you, Eivor. Now and forever, I am pledged to you.
hearken well in Hall of Kings. On ocean steed, my words gain wings. Odin's mead I forth will bring.
And yes, there's lots of singing in this game, so get ready for this.
For noble deeds that honors sing. The brave men slain, Valkyria waits. Rewards for strain to Valhalla takes. And horns resound the mighty horn. For those who fight! For those who fight!
Bum bum bum. Just right on cue. Of course, they jinxed their luck with that song.
Not you, Eivor. Not just yet.
Their swords are bigger than Eivor is. I guess Eivor does not get to fight this time. Alright, so we don't really have another way out of here, so we're actually going to have to go through that front door that everyone else is running through, because I'm sure it's just the safest way of going.
The curtains are
Also,
raised.
Eivor just leisurely strolls to the front door, doesn't run, doesn't do anything. You have a run button in this game, but you can't use it in this part for whatever reason. Bashing people with a torch.
Eivor!
And of course, Eivor is just like, all right, I'm gonna fight, even though I can't even lift this sword. I'm just gonna drag it to someone and hope it kills them. Well, okay, I guess technically Eivor gets one kill. Sigurd's just kicking butt here.
Let's end this bloodshed.
Speak to Valhalla.
Sigurd, take the horse. All right, wait here.
I cannot wait to play this game on my X or on my X, lol. Yo, Xavier Rays, how's it going, buddy? I hope you are having a wonderful day. I mean, I'm playing it on my X, my Xbox One X. I don't have the new console yet, so that's what we're playing on today, but you want to see it in all of its 30 frames per second glory. So this will be what it looks like when you do play it on your One X. If you don't get your Series X right away, I should say.
If I give my life, will you spare my clan? You have my word.
No. No, Baron. No, Baron. Pick up your axe.
Bonk. And he just kills them all. Again, this is a very cinematic beginning, very different from what we're used to in a lot of the modern Assassin's Creed games. Especially with something like Odyssey, where you literally just like are just hanging out on the beach somewhere, talking to dudes that are trying to like get you to pay back debt, essentially. Very different feeling from the start, from the outset. Oh. It's a good Friday, man. I just got the funds for the Series X, so gotta wait. No rush. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, honestly, playing this game on Xbox One is totally fine too. I mean, it's a very pretty game, and you'll find out after we get through this cutscene what the game looks like, and it's very pretty even on this console. So I'm excited for people to really get a chance to check this out. Even on Xbox One, I think it's gonna be great. And yes, you would think this is the end of Eivor, just getting clawed in the throat by a wolf. But no, this is not the end.
Overlapped in the same DNA. Not sure why.
Fix this or pull me out.
I can parse the streams with a filter. Hold on. Okay, we're good.
Are we?
I don't know what happened, but I can work around it. You'll have to pick a stream to keep things stable. There's a third option, too. I can let the Animus modulate your identity based on signal strength. It's up to you.
So, this is where we get to pick male or female, or let the Animus choose, which basically has you play both male and female, and depending on the point in the story you are, it'll actually switch between the two Eivors for whatever reason, which apparently, according to Ubisoft, let the Animus choose is the canon version of the game. Basically, if you choose this, it basically gives you the canon version. Apparently there are two Eivors. I don't know how that's canon, but sure, let's go with that. But we're not picking that choice because me personally, I always pick the female when I'm given the option. That's just always my personal preference. So we're playing as female Eivor today, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll lock it in and push ahead to a time where these.
But it's really interesting that it lets you go back and forth, and it's different from the Alexios and Cassandra alternate that was in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where they were two separate characters, and you just chose which one you wanted to control. Whereas in this one, they're both the same character. There's just a male and a female version, and for whatever reason,
How long have you been
it gives you the option for both, I guess.
17 winters? 18? Do I now haunt your dreams? Do I warm your loins? You
remember this? Ah, your father's axe. The weapon of a coward. A scorn snake. Ah, few things would please me more than to kill with this blade. But I know you would defy me to the death, fighting for a glorious end. That I will not allow. You will live your final days enthralled as a slave. Humiliated. Your death will be a lonely one. Kill the rest of our crew! Make them suffer!
This guy's just a big jerk.
Abel Wolfkiss is no more! That name is dead to this world!
You will be worth your weight in silver. To the ship.
Caw, caw.
You move, and I take your eyes. You hear me?
So literally, what the first thing she does is immediately moves.
Wind's blowing from the south.
She didn't really need her eyes
We can
anyways.
tack north, then cut west. Now, what did I just tell you?
Oh. I mean, Eivor just knows how to kick butt even while she's bound by handcuffs.
Kjotve will skin you alive. You will never leave this.
No feast for you, Sunan. My crew is in danger. You must be my eyes.
All right, here we go. We're finally into the game proper. Of course, this area here is actually, we're in Norway right now. And just to give you a perspective, it doesn't actually let us zoom out this early, but this is what the map looks like in this game. This basically right here, this area that I will dare not pronounce because this is the name of it right here, is pretty gigantic, and it's basically the starting area. Essentially, when we go up north here, you'll notice with the power being 280, essentially that's where the harder area of the game is. But we can come back to this area later in the game once we get there. Ooh, boat crush, yeah. She knows how to kill people with a boat oar, essentially, or the boat sail, just cause. So I just wanted to quickly show off what the world looks like. Again, doesn't look as big as Odyssey on this map, but this isn't the only area we go to. There's actually multiple areas in this game that we're actually going to travel to throughout the course of the game. Which, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to show in this first playthrough, just because we only can really do the first couple hours of this game. So we're going to pick up a whole bunch of other sight. Of course, we can use Odin's Sight, which, of course, returns from every other Assassin's Creed game, just to highlight all of the stuff. One cool thing about this game as well that I haven't really seen another game do since Red Dead is, as you'll notice, I'm running through the snow here. It remembers all your footprints in the snow. They don't disappear or anything like that. They stay there. Like, it actually does, they do a really good job with a lot of the environmental effects in this game, especially with so much of the game just having snow in it. It's super cool to see that tech being used with another game besides Red Dead. Like, I haven't really seen too many games since Red Dead that have really done like snow tracking in this with your footsteps. I mean, Metal Gear Solid back in the day on the PS1 did it, but they disappeared very quickly. Also, even though we're running up the sides here, we can also climb up here, climb up any surface, just like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, without the stamina meter or anything. You can pretty much just climb everything in this game, which is super cool. Now, we could go hunt that deer or the moose, because there are actually moose here. But we don't want to hurt our fellow moose. That's, it's not cool. So let's go up here and grab our first sync point. Again, this area here at the beginning is very beginner friendly, so for anyone who's never played Assassin's Creed before, it does actually a really good job of introducing you to all the different mechanics for Assassin's Creed and some of the new mechanics that are in this game, which we'll get to a little bit later. Here we go. Our first vantage point of a very snowy Norway. It's just very cold there, and Eivor is not wearing that much in clothing. It must be very cold. So let's just jump off. And of course, there's no barrel of haste. We're just gonna jump into freezing cold water. It's totally fine. Spider-Man pose. Very much so. Although, realistically, did the Spider-Man games steal it from Assassin's Creed, or did Assassin's Creed steal it from Spider-Man? Like, come on, man. I think it's definitely the other way around.
I need to be careful.
Alright, so we can totally sneak up in this guy. There are lots of bushes. But this point in the game, it doesn't let us do assassinations up until, in fact, I think once we leave the starting area, it finally lets us assassinate people, but it doesn't let us do it at the very beginning of the game. I don't know why. It's very, very crazy. Chicken and egg question. Yeah, totally. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm trying to think back to Spider-Man on PS1, whether or not you did the Spider-Man pose in that game, and I think you might have. I mean, I don't remember you doing it in Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 on the original Xbox, but I could be wrong about that. And I just love the visuals in this game. I love snowy environments in games, and it is definitely well realized in this game. So we just have a long way to run to our next objective. I don't know why they dragged all of our crew like so far away to kill them, but sure, whatever.
Flash of iron. There is fighting nearby.
Shield bashed in the face.
You old hound. You live.
I do. Slipped away in the sword clash. And what of you?
Kjotve tried to sell me off. A mistake he'll regret.
Not today, he won't. I saw him board a ship at Avaldsnes not long ago.
Is this on Series X? No, it is not, unfortunately. This is actually on Xbox One. I actually don't have a Series X yet. Sean does. I know he's going to be streaming Series X stuff all weekend for Extra Life, so if you are interested in Series X content, there's going to be lots of Series X stuff over the weekend. But unfortunately, I only have the One X right now, so that's what we're playing on. But, I mean, as you can probably see, it still looks really, really good on Xbox One X. It's just not running at 60 frames per second, unfortunately.
Go. I'll meet you by the ship.
Although I'm so excited for Wednesday, because Wednesday my Xbox One is coming in, or sorry, my Xbox Series X and Series S are both coming in. I'm so excited to get them. All right, so now here we're gonna go over the tutorial on how to equip inventory stuff. Yep. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna equip this shield. You can actually equip 2 weapons in this game, so you can basically like dual wield weapons. But of course, we don't have another weapon to dual wield yet. But it gives you a bunch of different fighting styles and a bunch of really interesting and different weapons that you collect throughout the game. Kind of like Odyssey did as well, where there's a bunch of different weapon styles. Like if you have like a flail or a polearm, like you attack very differently. So it's actually really cool. There's a lot of weapon variety in this game, so you can kind of play how you want.
If I use the main gate, I may attract attention. Guards here are vigilant.
Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our Raven. We can point out and tag a lot of the enemies. There's a locked house down there with some materials, which are used to upgrade your main base, which we'll get to in a little bit. So, I don't think we can assassinate people yet.
Crew should be inside.
This area would go by so much easier if people let us assassinate us at the beginning, because that would just take out all these fools without them even seeing us. So with the shield, what's cool is if you actually press the right bumper, you can actually hold your shield up and block. But otherwise, you have a light and a heavy attack assigned to RB and RT. Essentially. So this house here, there's some goodies inside. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go up here and sneak our way in. If I remember correctly, I think there's just an opening on the roof to get in here. Oh, there's a dude just hanging out right here. So with a lot of axe combat in this game, the combat feels very different than Odyssey. Combat gameplay more visceral than Odyssey? Yeah, I think so. I mean, the combat definitely feels very similar. So, I mean, there's not too many changes, but the flow of combat, I feel, has changed greatly in this game, like more than anything, especially when we've got like a large group of enemies coming down on us, it feels very different than in Odyssey. Like, it's very less counter heavy in this game and more about aggressive playstyles, because you're playing a Viking in this game, which makes more sense, I guess, in the context of things. And just some of the moves in this game look really brutal, especially like with some of the two-handed axe ones. We can get into some really brutal combat later in this game. I'm not a fan, though, of the sword and board combat in this game, though. I'm more of a dual-wielding axes or dual-wielding daggers kind of person. I mean, the feel and all. Yeah, again, it feels very different from... Well, I shouldn't say very different. It feels different from Odyssey, but not unrecognizable or anything like that, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we've taken out most of these guys. I guess there's no point in even sneaking up on these guys since we can't assassinate them. One of the nice things, though, and we'll get into this a little bit later when it lets us assassinate targets, is that assassinations in this game versus Odyssey, it doesn't matter how much health they have. If you do an advanced assassination, it will kill them in one hit. Likewise, you can actually turn it on in the options to have assassinations always kill in one hit. So you don't have to actually worry about the health bars if you don't want to. If you want like that classic Assassin's Creed assassination feel, which I think is a really interesting addition to this game, and I think is gonna make a lot of people happy who I know were not too happy about having to worry about just how much the enemies scaled over you as to whether or not you could assassinate them or not. So if I remember correctly, the way to get in this house is, I think there is just a window open somewhere to get inside. And again, your Eagle Companion makes its way back from the previous two Assassin's Creed games, just for scouting and for marking enemies. Ah, there it is. It's up there. Cool. It's like I just ran by it.
You squirm like that, and my axe will miss your neck. Unpleasant for both of us. Time to die.
Oh, those are the guys that are outside. So once again, I would just do a drop-down assassination on him if that was an option, but unfortunately I'm just going to have to walk up and punch him.
You coward! Unbind me and stick an axe in my hand!
I owe you nothing, raven shit. Yours is a clan of thralls and peasants.
You! Lay that axe aside or die by mine.
You should be on a slave ship to Ireland, Wolf-Kissed. But if you wish to be my first sacrifice, Odin will be more than happy to receive you.
You just killed yourself, Erky.
Now you pay!
Alright, here we go. We got our first boss fight. This guy, dude's just gonna charge at us, but we can just kind of like go around behind him and just whack him with our axe.
Shut your hole and fight.
Die, you sack of shit!
And the perfect dodge from previous games, especially Odyssey, is not in this game at all. So there's no perfect dodge or anything like that that slows down time. I don't know if that's a skill you get later on because the full skill tree isn't shown to you right away. You kind of have to unlock different areas of the skill tree to kind of show you what all of the skills are. So I don't know if there's a skill that adds it later, but perfect dodges, it's less about that in this game and more about just like stun locking the enemies or just dodging and then counterattacking afterwards. Which again is like in Odyssey specifically, I felt like basically the best strategy would be to do perfect dodges and then get all of your attacks in on the enemy and then kind of step back and then wait for them to attack again. Whereas in this game, it's very much not about that. It's just a very different feeling
Father,
game.
you should have held on to this until the bitter end.
If I give my life, will you spare my clan?
Bennett, no! Pick up your axe!
Kill them all!
No!
Yeah, there's just a wolf hanging out here. It's fine. It's a spooky tree. It's happening.
Eivor, are you bewitched? Unbind us.
What? Oh. Yes, of course.
So I'm so excited because now we can show off some of the dual wielding gameplay. In fact, is this one here? You always want to equip your stronger weapon to this wet hand here, and then your alternating lower powered weapon to your other hand. So we're gonna just equip all of this new armor. There's basically all of the items in this game are all part of item sets, very similar to games like Diablo. And as you have more items of that set equipped, it gives you a different passive ability, which again we saw some of in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but it's expanded to almost every single item in the game in this game, which is kind of cool. So let's see. So again, this is what the skill tree in this game kind of looks like. Now, as you can tell, a lot of it is clouded out. You really only have access to see these three here. We don't have any skill points yet. We're going to get some of those probably after this next combat encounter. But these are the only three skills we kind of have at the beginning. Unfortunately, you kind of have to put a lot of points into stuff before you can start getting some of the other abilities. And you can't really plan out your character builds, at least until a guide is released, basically showing you what some of the best builds are, because you can't really see all of the abilities going into this, which is interesting design. I'm not a huge fan of it. I like kind of building my character knowing kind of what upgrades I'm working towards. But for now, it just gives you a very limited scope as to what abilities you have to work with going forward.
Even if your wits were somewhat rattled.
Listen here. If you can breathe, you can fight. Now come.
Alright, so now there's a whole bunch of dudes, so now we get to show off what it's like to fight a whole bunch of dudes at once. Which again is just more of the same kind of combat we were just showing off before. It's just lots of dodges, and basically kind of being a little bit aggressive. A little more aggressive than I would be in Odyssey or Origins. Also, it's a lot of press and right bumper. A lot of right bumper. It's kind of like playing a Warriors game where you're pressing the X button a whole bunch. In this game, you're pressing right bumper a whole lot in combat. Combos are much less of a thing in this game than they were in Odyssey. I'm attacking my own dudes. I'll loot some guys. Got 5 silver.
If you can breathe.
So we're gonna go to our longship and basically get the heck out of here.
Let battle swim.
Yes, just, now that I've got 2 axes, just heads are flying everywhere now. Not intend to do that. Mac. Pick up some berries. Also, the health system works a lot different in this game. You don't have regenerating health in this game. You actually have to pick up berries or other fruits or food throughout the environment. And as soon as you reach max health from picking up different food, you then store up rations that you can use throughout the game to basically restore your health at any time. Kind of like using like some of the medical skills in Odyssey, for example. And here we go, sailing once again back, and it's actually a big part of this game. There's lots of sailing in this game. There's lots of water, more so in this environment in Norway than in the other area that we're going to go to a little bit later on. And there's just lots of sailing, so I hope you like sailing in this game. But the one thing that I haven't seen return, though, is ship versus ship combat. Because that was actually a really big part of Odyssey, was battling 2 ships against each other, and kind of like in Black Flag as well. And as far as I know, that's not back in this game. Likewise, you don't have ship management or anything like that, or customization of your ships. You're very much just using the stock ship that it gives you. So at the same time, you don't have to use some of your resources toward putting it towards basically upgrading your ship or anything like that, or upgrading your crew in this. Okay, the water and the sun's reflection look nice. Yeah, well, I mean, this is a very, very pretty. I'll even give you a better sight of just the sun casting along the water while I drive the ship. This is again, very pretty game, even on Xbox One. It's like, this isn't even on next-gen consoles. This is just on Xbox One. It looks really nice.
Harder and stronger than before.
No surprise there. This war has spun on for 3 generations. I hardly expect him to relent.
Your hatred for that man burns bright, wolf-kissed. I could warm my balls on it.
Would you not prefer a pair of sealskin breeches?
Just take care, Eivor. Such hatred can make you careless. What he did to your father, he did to all of us. You are not in this fight alone.
Of course, one interesting about this that I thought was was like weird graphical issues or something like that, but it's actually just tons of water gets on the camera, whether it's snowing outside or when you're on a boat like this. Like, you're noticing like little splotches of water go on the camera as well. I think that's a nice touch, and something that I thought looked weird at first, but like now that I've been playing the game for a while, it actually looks pretty cool. I kind of like that look.
Scold you for setting out against his wishes.
Of course he will.
Is that not something you worry over?
I worry only that our king will not see that I am right until it's too late.
What about Sigurd? What would he say?
And again, I just love the imagery of just sailing here in the sea here in Norway. It just looks really, really visually cool. Oh, can we not open our sail? Are we too close to
Run up the sail!
close to destroy? Okay. It makes us also sail very far away from when we started on to get back to home, essentially.
Only the truth. We attacked Kjotve's fortress, killed his men, and weakened his control of this land.
Will you mention the part where you lost your crew and were nearly sold as a thrall? Will that be part of your saga?
There's a skull who dares sing that verse. It'll be his last song.
There we go. We get a little closer look going into the harbor here. You can also do the cinematic view is back from the previous games as well, but it doesn't let us do it here this early in the game.
Hold here.
So we're gonna dock and get off the boat. And now we're in Forenburg, which is kind of like the first hub city we go to. It's got all of our vendors in it, as well as kind of the main story for the first little bit of the game.
We thought we had lost you, Eivor. For good this time. A warm welcome as always, Ranvi. You look like reddened shit. What happened? Nothing to crow about, except to say the men who delayed us are dead. And how are you?
Well enough, though I have spent many tiresome days calming the rages of our king. He is not happy with you.
I expected as much. And what of Sigurd? Has he returned from his raids?
My husband should be home today. The last we heard, he was approaching Stavanger.
Good to hear. We have need of his courage.
Sigurd will not save you from his father's wrath, Eivor. You should know that by now.
Did your raid not go as planned?
They rarely go as planned. We killed many of Kjotve's warriors. And there was this. My father's axe among the dead.
Ah. After so many years. You should take it to Gunnar. He will give it back its edge.
A good idea. After I see our king.
That I do not advise. Not yet. He is meeting with a messenger from the north.
I can wait.
A cloud hangs over you. Is something wrong?
Seeing my father's axe after 17 winters. It stirred something in me. A feeling I have not had since the day he was killed. Since the day I got this.
That's a really nice looking scar. It's the same one where you get bit by the wolf at the beginning.
She could help me make sense of my feelings.
I still don't know how Eivor actually survived getting bit in the neck by a wolf like that. Like, I would have assumed she would have bled out.
Just like that axe. Maybe Gunnar can help you with both.
Argo, how's it going? I hope you were having a wonderful Friday. How is it so far? I gotta say, it's fun. I mean, I can only really talk about kind of the first 2 hours and not really give like specific impressions or anything like that. But I can talk about what we're playing. I could also say that I'm about 15 hours into the game so far, not including my playtime today. So I'm actually pretty far in the experience. I've only had the game since Wednesday. So I'm kind of interested to see where the story goes. And you'll definitely be hearing my kind of my full impressions later this, or I should say next week. Because I'm going to go into a much more detail when we can actually talk about it. So here's the skill tree here. I kind of showed this off a little bit earlier. And basically, again, this top tree up here really focuses on melee attack power and then a bunch of different attack skills. You will get other skills besides attack skills here, but that's kind of the focus that you want to go down. This right here is the ranged tree. It integrates some stealth skills into it, but for the most part, it basically helps you upgrade your bow and arrow combat, as well as other ranged attacks with other ranged weapons that you get throughout the game. And then here is the stealth tree, and basically gives you all of your stealth skills. So it kind of, again, is very much like Odyssey in the way that you can choose one of these three paths to kind of focus a lot of your skill points into. And you'll get other ability points in here. Like, you will get some stealth points and some ranged points in the melee tree, for example. Or likewise, you will get melee attack power sometimes in the ranged tree. But for the most part, you kind of just pick a path early on and kind of go from here. So I'm going to do something different from what I usually do. I usually always go with the stealth tree because I'm very much always focused on stealth combat. But since we're only playing the first 2 hours today, I'm gonna focus with the melee tree actually, because I kind of want to see what that's all about. So basically, we just increased our melee damage as well as our melee resistance. Absolutely loved Origins and Odyssey. Yeah, Argo, me too. In fact, Odyssey is one of my favorite games of the generation. Like, I love Odyssey so much, and Origins is a game I really loved when it came out as well. And yeah, I was really excited when they announced this game, and I really wanted to see what was going to happen next. And yeah, so far so good. So we have 2 quests that we can start on, because of course in the tradition of Assassin's Creed games, it wants to give us multiple quests to start with at a time. This first quest, though, just kind of introduces us to all the different stuff to do in the hub city. And there's a bunch of different activities. It's not just shops here. And we're going to start with this one here, which is basically a drinking competition. We're going to do a mead drinking opportunity to see what we can do. See if we can win ourselves some coin. And yes, it's very much a drinking competition with them yelling chug and everything. But a historically accurate drinking competition. And I totally flubbed that.
Staggering already.
And again, as it goes on, the timing gets faster and faster. We can burn through our alcohol faster, and of course we stagger, and that causes us to start over as well. Oh, I pressed the wrong direction. Can we win this beginner's drinking competition, though? We'll see. Eivor is getting quite drunk at the moment. Oh. It's hard. I find it hard to do 2 things at once sometimes. So that's why when it's like, oh, you got to press sometimes look over to see if you need to press the directional button while you also having to make sure to press the button on Q. And unfortunately, we lost. But that's okay. Again, this was just to introduce us to the drinking competition. Now everything's hazy because now we're drunk Eivor. So next thing here, I believe this is the rap activity. Because yes, there's Viking raps in this game. It's a thing.
Practicing your wordplay, Albus.
Ah, Eivor! The only mouth in Midgard from which I fear mockery.
You told me the art of writing poetry, old friend. It is only natural that I surpass you soon.
How about another lesson then? A quick flight. Right here, right now. What do you say?
Let's try flighting.
I always put a few coins down as a wager. Most of
And
those
yes,
who enjoy
flighting
have an
is
equal
Viking rap.
for
It's a
betting.
real thing.
But today, we'll abstain. Let me begin.
I'm ready.
In flighting, it's key to match cadence and rhyme. It's as much about sound as it is about time. So be careful in choosing the words that you say.
I'll recall what you taught ere I enter the fray.
A fine answer. Perfect rhyme and a lovely cadence.
You kind of have to think
match
out loud
my rhyme.
how the character's going
Now,
to say
let us
the
examine
lines, and you got to basically match the
In
rhythm of your
fighting, you'll
opponent.
need to be cutting and keen. It's about wielding wit more than venting your spleen. If I tell you you're foolish and stupid and dull,
Then I will make a fine goblet from out of your skull.
not bad, not bad. The rhyme is there, the sound is good, but consider that I said you were silly and you told me you would kill me. At times, it might be best to remain on theme. Something to consider. Last one. So go then and conquer the world with your wit. Go be clever, be quick, show your spirit and grit. I look eagerly forward to seeing how you fare.
I will flight you with flourish and best you with flair.
Perfect, yes. You could destroy me with
Oh
such a
man,
line.
it's
Your
so
flighting's
it's kind of
astounding,
cringeworthy,
you're
but at the
worthy
same
of
time,
praise.
it's kind of
You
endearing
spit a
at the same
fine
time.
ox And you turn a good phrase.
Thank you, Albus. I'll take the lesson to heart.
And then the rap competitions can get a little bit crazy and over the top a little bit later in the game. But one of the rewards for doing that, as you just saw, is it awards us with charisma, which gives you some different dialogue options in this game, or discounts at certain stores. Charisma is not something you put points into. It's interesting. It's interesting how that works. Flying seems easier just to bury an axe in their head. Yo, Anti-Macro, what's up? I know you've also been playing this game as well. And yeah, you would think it would be easy, but apparently not. Apparently not.
Is that your father's axe? I have not seen this beauty since, well, for some time. I forged this weapon long ago. Still looks good. One of my finest.
And the stream should hopefully be back together now. It looked like we just had a little bit of a dip there.
Can you sharpen it?
I can give it a better edge and reinforce the handle. And as luck would have it, I have one ingot left for the job.
Are you sure?
The fates have willed it so. But in future, bring your own metal ingots. I cannot forge them from empty air.
Vikings are a lot more friendship based than I would expect. Yeah, well, especially if they're part of their own clan. I guess they're all about being nice all the time. I mean, it's not like actual modern rap battles where they're mean to each other all the time. But again, some of the later rap battles are a little bit different. What settings are you on for stealth and combat? I was surprised at how customizable they are. Yeah, I actually thought that was super interesting, especially stealth. I wasn't expecting stealth to actually have a difficulty option, but there was that. For the purposes of the review and the playthrough today, I'm just playing on normal across the board for everything. Although specifically for the stream, I am playing in adventurer mode rather than exploring mode. But for the review, I'm actually playing in exploring mode, basically to get you clues to see where to go. But obviously, since we're kind of limited on time today, I wanted to just have it highlight all the objectives for us today. But yeah, like I love the customizability with the difficulty options. Like I think it's super cool.
Let me have a look.
Go ahead.
But for me, like in my normal playthrough, like I would totally play my normal playthrough using like the hardest stealth difficulty. But today I decided not to do that.
Anything else?
I bumped up stealth on the YouTube video and then probably forgot about it. And it cost me. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, if stealth is on its maximum level and you aren't careful, it'll definitely punish you for it. That's for sure. How far are you into the game on a non-stream stage? So on my non-stream save, I'm a little bit over 15 hours into the game, which is kind of crazy because I've only had the games since Wednesday night, but I have not been able to put it down ever since I started playing.
Trading a needle for an arrow, I see.
Treat us how to aim.
I'll be happy to. See how I'm standing? Plant your feet in the ground, no wider than your shoulders. Breathe in as you draw the arrow back.
Thank you, Eivor. Now I have something for you.
See? All in the eye.
Thank you, Eivor. As a gift, I could design a new tattoo for you.
There we go. We managed to get ourselves a new tattoo. You can totally customize your tattoos in this game, which is pretty cool.
In any case, I do have a tattoo for you.
So we can go to the tattoo shop if we want to, even though we just went there. We're not going to go back there again. I was 10 hours in, lost time to corrupted saves, backing up there and again. Much farther into the story, though, with less goofing around. Okay. Yeah, for me, for a while I was doing a lot of goofing off, and basically, like, in the starting area, I spent, like, 5 hours in the starting area because I wanted to see kind of everything in it. But definitely now that I'm in the later parts of the game, I'm kind of speeding things along and not doing as much side stuff now. So here we go. We got this dice game now that we can do. Ooh, do we want heads or tails? I'm going to go with tails because tails never fails, right? That's how that works. And apparently tails failed. They failed on us, and I'm very sad. So this is some weird, like, dice, like, combat game. It's very bizarre, but that's okay. So let's grab the X, grab one arrow, and I think I'm going to ship the rest of these. Same lol. Hey, there's an important quest, but how about you hunt for an hour instead? Or gather ore. Yeah, it's certainly interesting. There's a lot to do in this game if you want to just kind of go off the deep end and just spend a ton of time exploring. We got so many attack dice. Oh no, they stole our one piece, but then we just immediately steal it back. Those square pieces allow us to use different skills later on in the game if we have enough of them. Maybe what we do is we keep this block and then ship the rest. Or gather ore. You just want to get all the ore in this game to upgrade all your stuff. Okay. So these pieces here will give us additional ability points. So they've got a steel and they've got an arrow. I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab this axe, or maybe I'll press the button just to continue and not actually select anything. So I guess these are the pieces we're going with, because I may or may not have pressed the wrong button. And we don't have enough to... oh, can we? We're going to use a God Favor and deal extra damage. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this game, but it exists. It's a thing. Okay, so we're going to want to use like a lot of defensive items, I think. Okay. So let's keep this block. Let's keep these arrows. And then I kind of want to steal from him since he's got a lot of blocks. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I kind of want to just roll again. Perfect. Those are the two blocks I was hoping for. So we should have enough for God Favor, so let's use that. So there we go. We basically blocked their triage of physical attacks. We stole one of their pieces, and then we can deal a ton of damage here. Okay, so let's grab these two attacks and this steel.
This will do.
So they've already blocked one of our attacks. They don't have much life left though, so I kind of just want to grab this axe and then hopefully we get some more attack items. Oh no, he's rolling a bunch of blocks. I'm very sad about this. Alright, so we should have enough to deal another two, so let's go for it. Always keep the steel if they have a frame. It's double up on you. I always undervalue the ability to keep the steels. I also haven't played the dice game very much. I've only really played it in the tutorial here, and then this is my second time playing it, so I'm kind of learning the rules of it a little bit and kind of learning some of the strategies. Okay, so they've got two axes, so let's do a block, and I kind of want this arrow to give us another one of those pieces, and then we can ship the rest of these attacks back. The second level favor is 8 unblockable damage. It's huge. Good point. Alright, so we'll definitely keep the steel. Definitely keep that arrow. And we'll keep this block to block some of their attacks. Oh no, they got a lot of blocks. All right, let's see if this 8 unblockable damage actually works. But bam! We won! We won the dice game.
Sweet victory.
I actually lost my first dice game, so I'm actually when I first played this. So I'm actually glad we won that one. Okay, so now that we've talked to everyone, we can go talk to his wife now.
If you have any other business, it may be wise to do it now. Let him cool down. I could speak to Volka first. Get this weight off my mind. The king is not going anywhere.
Alright, so instead of finishing this quest, we will go do Valka's quest. Which actually, this quest is kind of cool because it is makes us have to go up into the mountains and then see some of Norway in action. So let's summon our mount. There we go. And there's a bunch of different mounts in this game, which is pretty cool. It's not just horses. There's a bunch of other mounts that you can obtain later on in the game. But a horse is what you start with. He's very adorable. You don't get to customize the horse that you start with or anything like that. But now we get to see some of the cool vistas of just going around here in Norway. Also, all these items that are unlocking are the Ultimate Edition items that come with the Ultimate Edition of the game, which is what we were provided by Ubisoft for the review. Just in case you were wondering why I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff while not actually doing anything. And again, just a very friendly looking Norway. Again, just I love, like, if I turn the camera correctly, let's go beyond this rock here. Like, I love the vistas of running up here in the mountains. It just looks really, really cool. I love again, like, snowy environments like this. It makes the cutscenes hilarious. Yeah, I can imagine so. Ah, the fjords! Yes! Everyone loves a good fjord in a video game. I have to say, we don't get enough fjords in video games, anti-macro. Alright, so we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna go talk to Valka, who has things to say.
Hamuram. Hamuram.
Volka?
Hush. I need silence to hear the songs of nature. Hamuram. Hamuram.
Svala. She gives praises and she is greeted.
For your hearing I hearken, O ancient ones, great Odin, great Freya.
I wish the skill tree was a little more visible from the start so you could plan builds. I went the wrong way with the bow build at first. Yeah, I actually was saying that a little bit earlier. I don't like the fact that you can't really design your build ahead of time without looking up a guide, essentially. Which, of course, during the review process, there are no guides for this stuff. So it's kind of hard to plan your build. Like, I went down the stealth route because I kind of do that in every Assassin's Creed game, or at least the modern ones anyways. Because I like to play stealth. That's kind of my thing. And it doesn't give you enough other skills that I'm kind of regretting my choice a little bit as well. I think it wants to encourage you to kind of divvy things up, but I just wish that it was more clear about what you were working towards and what some of the benefits for going down one of the trees or another would be.
Describe it for me.
Like, that's one of the things I liked about Odyssey, is basically being able to plan out my character ahead of time, whereas in this game it's very hard to do that out of the box anyways.
There was a wolf, howling and fierce. And then a figure. A greybeard in a cloak. With a single eye. He bid me follow him.
Ah, the High One. He calls to you. Perhaps he means to speak with you. Deliver a message. Only through Satyr will you see more clearly and unravel the threads that sit tangled upon your mind. This will not take long.
So we're gonna go on a vision quest. It's very exciting.
What are you brewing? An elixir to loosen your hur and unwind your thoughts. You will enter a waking sleep and journey to the world of dreams. It may confuse or disorient you, but you must take note of all you see. Drink. If you seek true understanding.
I was tempted to make the joke, tastes like birding, just like that episode of The Simpsons with that was kind of like Lord of the Flies, but no, I decided to resist it, even though I've now said out loud that I was thinking about going for that joke, and now it's just ruined. I've just ruined everything. I've ruined this beautiful cutscene.
I saw nothing, Volka. Felt nothing.
So I don't know why it's telling me to summon my mount now, but it's fine. I know how to do that.
Why walk among the dead?
And here we go. Very snowy Norway. Very dark. I'm at work. Gotta run. Have fun. Thank you so much for coming out, Anti-Macro. And I hope your day at work is almost over anyways. It's definitely Friday at least. So at least you've got that going for you. But I hope you have a good rest of your day and stay classy, good sir.
What is this?
This place isn't creepy at all. Of course not. So, who took the time to put all these candles out here? That's a lot of candles. That reminds me, I need to go buy candles because the power is going out in my apartment tomorrow night. They've told me ahead of time. I'm very excited for it. And I just love the snow in this game too. Again, it's remembering all my footsteps and everything like that, just like Red Dead did. It looks really cool.
Sigurd! Brother! What is this?
There was no other way, Javi. Our fates are fixed.
Apparently he's missing a hand. Oh, there is his hand. It was just chilling out of frame.
Sigurd! What is it? What has happened?
This was not for you, Javi.
And there goes Sigurd. And that's a big wolf. I mean, that wolf wasn't terrifying at all. It was just super big. And now we're just kind of frozen. We're waiting for the game to load. There we go. For a second there, I thought the game wasn't coming back.
Steady, Eivor. It is Valka. I am here.
God, I thought What was that?
Tell me everything.
I was on a mountain, in a violent blizzard, climbing toward the summit, following a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Odin and the Nornir.
I don't know how she could tell that dude in the cloak was Odin. Because, I mean, he's just, you know, he's Odin. I mean, I figured he would have like a very different look to him, but he was just like faceless. I don't know how she could tell it was Odin.
And where it ends.
But sure, we'll go with that.
And the wolf was eager for my attention, as if it were beckoning me to follow.
You are the wolf-kissed, fated to carry its mark for life. In this case, it might represent your ambition, or your fear.
I saw the gates to Odin's Hall of Slain Champions. They opened for me.
Shades of Valhalla, for which you are destined.
I do not know what else to say. My memories are faint, hazy.
Did you reach the summit of this mountain?
I did, yes. Sigurd was there, wounded, in pain. His fighting arm was missing. Then the wolf reappeared, the size of a dragon, twisted and terrible. It fixed its eyes on me and struck. Then I woke.
The gods favor you, Eivor. They always have. You will have your glory, and you will earn your place in Valhalla. But these portents carry a darker truth. The missing arm, the trail of blood, the beast. You will betray your brother, Sigurd.
Dun dun dun!
That is the meaning of your vision.
That cannot be right. I would never betray Sigurd. He's my brother, my family.
The Nornir have spoken, and this is their message.
No, this is wrong, or you misunderstand. That cannot be right.
You will betray Sigurd.
Odin fought against his fate. It can be done.
Apparently, Eivor is gonna cut off her brother's hand. Apparently, that's a thing that's gonna happen at some point. All right, here we go. So now we should be able to go back to town and complete our other quest. 2 more skill points. Jiminy Jollikers. All right, so let's continue down the melee path, just because we can get our first skill, Stomp, this way. We can stomp on a dude's head, apparently. It's a thing. So let's get ability damage and then stun, since those are the 2 we can do. Oh, we have 2 more additional skill points. So we can actually get Stomp. Bam! You just have to make sure to run up to people and press the right trigger, the right stick in to stomp on people's faces. Very different from the kicking move from Odyssey, where you can kick people off cliffs. I was nowhere near them, but they were freaking out like I was going to run into them or something. So let's go here, and it's time to finally go meet with the king and tell him how much we screwed up on our last mission. That's the thing. Zoop.
They must be finished now.
The king has called for his best mead, so the talks are concluded. It should be safe to enter.
I'm ready to face the thunder. I'll speak with the king now.
Excellent, King Styrbjorn. I will take this proposal to my nephew. I believe he will see the wisdom in it.
Good. It is all I can hope for. May the...
Of course, she just casually just walks in on the conversation and stops
May the
everything.
winds favor your voyage, Guthormr. Eivor, come forward and explain in plain words why you have willfully disobeyed my commands. Do you mock me?
I do not mock you, King. I mean to embolden you against your enemies and your own poor judgment.
You know nothing of my judgment. You know nothing of my plans and strategies.
Sigurd would agree with me.
My son might agree with you, but he would obey me. He knows his place.
Not as well as he knows his father.
Imagine you are harassed by an enemy with warriors that vastly outnumber your own. What profit does open war bring? Would it not be better to work quietly through diplomacy, gaining alliances? Waiting until the day our numbers outweigh our
I didn't know the
enemies.
diplomatic way was the way Vikings did things, but apparently that's what they're trying to do here. Your diplomacy is cowardice.
All your talk of diplomacy is cowardice, not strategy. If you do not have the will to finish this fight, only say it.
I will finish it when we are certain to win, Eivor. And that day is fast approaching.
Is that all?
I'm at a loss with you, Eivor. When I took you in as my own, never did I imagine such disrespect from the child of Varin. Your father was a fine man. Just and loyal to me, he died bravely so that we might live.
He died a coward, Lord. A fate I will not mirror.
Why do you carry such a useless burden? Let it go! Think only of the days to come, of your future and the victories at hand.
My honor has been stained. Until it's wiped clean, I want nothing else.
I refuse to pick at that wound again. But if there is something that can chase these shadows from your thoughts...
Sigurd has come! Down at the docks, his ship is here!
Ah, Sigurd has arrived. We're gonna go talk to Sigurd and get to see grown-up Sigurd, which is different from when we saw him at the beginning of the game, where he's being a little bit of a jerk before.
Hey, careful with that one. Eivor!
Sigurd!
Ah, look at you, blood-soaked drinker. Have you been worrying without me?
Ah, and you, soul-cured Vikinger. I smell the stink of a dozen kingdoms in your beard.
Just the start. Randvi, my dear wife, your husband returns, bringing gifts and riches to share.
And new friends, I see.
Yes.
Just these random-looking dudes. Just nothing to see here. These white outfit dudes with red on them. I mean, I wonder who they could be.
To Sigurd for his invitation and eager to pay tribute to your king.
My brother is always very careful with the company he keeps. If you're standing safely beside him, he must like you.
Ah, Eivor. Save the introductions until our bellies are full. I will see my father. Tell him of my time away. This morning we traded with a ship passing south. They told us Eivor the Wolf-Kissed was captured by Kjotve's men.
They must have cut the tail short. I killed my captors and recovered my crew. For that your father scolded me. You know where I stand, brother. Nothing short of war will dislodge Kjotve from our
He's going
lands.
that way.
But he disagrees.
I know. Father thinks too much and acts too little. Today that changes. I promise you. By the winter's end, the name Kjotve the Cruel will be a curse on the lips of a drunken fool.
My son! Welcome home!
Father.
Tonight we feast and celebrate your return, Sigurd. The tables are laid with barley and lamb, bread and mead.
And no more, I beg you. I want nothing you would not serve a thrall. Let me be the one to honor you. I bring gifts and tales from faraway lands. After 2 winters away, I am full up with both.
Very well, very well. Come inside.
And when we are fat and satisfied, Father, we will talk of Kjotve and his clan, and how we may end their terror, once and for all. He has dogged us too long, shamed us for too many seasons. I know this. Eivor knows this. It ends now.
Yes, of course, when the time is right.
This cutscene's a little bit different from the last time I played it, because the sun was never directly in his face before, but I love like the sun reflection in this game. Like they did a really good job with the sun in this game. It looks really interesting. It really stands out.
We saw men bedecked in riches as vibrant as the Bifrost itself. And these we took for our troubles, of course.
Now, we could just sit here at the table and then just passively just eat bread as we listen to Sigurd's tale. Or we can get up and walk around.
And now I have returned, with riches and glory to share with my family, my friends, my eyes-forged stranger. So take what you desire from my hoard. For this is only a taste of
We're just gonna hang out with this guy, this strange-looking fellow that's just hanging out. How are you people playing early? What's up, Flobecca? So this code is actually provided by Ubisoft. This is a review copy of the game, and because we're actually reviewing it for the podcast next week, and then the review for this will be up on the channel next week sometime. But yeah, so that's how we're playing it early. And that's huge thanks to them for sending that out to us.
I thought long and hard on a gift worthy of you.
Yeah, today's the day where you're going to see a ton of footage from this game, and we can't talk too much about it, but we can talk about what we're playing here in the first couple hours of the game. We're about an hour and 20 minutes into the game so far, and this is like, I started at the beginning of the stream.
And you want me to sail with you on these honey waves?
Yes, you are stuck with me, Dringur. Now drink.
Also, pardon me, I accidentally said Flobecca when I meant to say Flobaka, like Chewbacca. So, my apologies, Flobaka.
From drinking to breathing, you turn everything into a competition, brother. I must always be prepared.
True enough.
It is good to have you back, Sigurd.
Yes. I've missed this terribly. When I first met Basin, I regaled him with tales of our homeland. And it was then I felt a heart longing to return at once.
Once again, the strange-looking fellows over there in those white and red clothing. I wonder who they could possibly be. It could be anyone.
These excellent men were my shepherds through much of their homeland, the Abbasid Caliphate. They are a clan, not joined by blood, but by a common idea. A brotherhood of shadows executing their own form of justice. In my time with them, they shared many of their most hidden secrets, for which I am grateful. And now, I gift one of these secrets to you. A weapon for the
Yes, the return of everyone's favorite weapon, finally back in an Assassin's Creed game, because we haven't had one for 2 games, and now it's back. It looks harmless.
Not the most threatening weapon, is it? A brazier with a tiny blade.
It may not look like much, but those who underestimate its effectiveness are often the first to die by its sting.
Mentor, I must protest. This is deeply unorthodox. Our wrist blade is a sacred
Do
tool.
not make a fetish out of cold metal, Haitham. What matters is the mind of the one who wields it. Please, try it on. The blade should ride on the underside of your arm, to conceal it from your target.
I have no wish to hide this, and I would rather not make the same mistake you two have. I like it.
This is no mistake. This is a voluntary sacrifice to prove our devotion to...
A good start, Eivor. But you must learn how to use it effectively.
And now that we actually have the hidden blade, we can now finally assassinate our targets and play stealthily if we want to. So now we're going to go outside, and it's going to actually teach us how to assassinate targets, as if this is our very first Assassin's Creed game. Again, I kind of said this at the beginning, but this game actually does a very good job of teaching you all the mechanics for Assassin's Creed, more than other Assassin's Creed games, but it is a little bit more hand-holdy, especially if you have played these games before. But it is kind of meant for those who are new to the series, even though this is the third in basically this modern trilogy of games. And we won't get to the modern day stuff here, But in the modern day stuff, it's very much a follow-up to the last two games. So if we walk up, we just assassinate them. It's very exciting.
Some targets are trickier than others. Keep that in mind before you strike. Take that one down from the ledge.
Oh, we gotta go to the ledge for this one. Oh, gotta crash down because it wants us to actually view it from below. Oh, come on, get back down there, Eivor. There we go. Bump.
That's it.
Whee!
How about a challenge? Leap down upon that target from above.
Bonk.
A perfect strike. Use your surroundings when possible. Strike from that haystack, for instance.
Man, I didn't know we could strike at enemies from haystacks in Assassin's Creed games.
Mentor, does Eivor intend to join us?
Not that I am aware.
Then why offer her the blade? Surely we have more.
Hytham. Hush. That's it. You wield the blade well. Let us leave Eivor to enjoy her gift in peace.
Or I don't need to keep practicing assassinations. We know how to do these already. We've been playing Assassin's Creed games for a while.
The night air.
There.
What do you make of my new friends?
They seem generous and menacing in equal measure.
I know what you mean. They have learning too.
I'm still kind of surprised they give Eivor the hidden blade, but Sigurd doesn't have one for himself. It's very odd.
All of which I will share with you when the time is right. Oh, I miss the smell of this land.
Have you returned for good? Or do you mean to join this Shadow Brotherhood?
Leave all that aside, Eivor. Tonight we are family again. The here and now is what matters. Our kinship, our clan, our glory.
I've missed you, brother. Your clear head and your courage. We have not had enough of both in recent months.
You flatter me, Wolf-Kissed. Keep it up.
There's just some random fish just popping out. That didn't happen the last time I did this cutscene.
I will always be at your side, Sigurd. Always.
This fjord has grown too small to contain me, or I too large. There is so much more beyond these stony fangs that rise around us. England, Ireland, Francia, all greener pastures, ripe for the plucking. Tomorrow, we make new war on Kjotve, and reclaim the lands he took from us. And from there, we build a kingdom for us.
I'm with you. Only say the word.
Good. Get some rest, and return here at first light.
Alright, so now we're to go try and get revenge against the dude who killed our parents at the very beginning of the game. And that's kind of the big objective we're going to do basically in the starting area of this game.
The Northnir have spoken. You will betray Sigurd.
No, this is wrong. That cannot be right. Odin fought against his fate. It can be done.
You will betray Sigurd.
Of course, there's just some dude just sneaking out there.
Kjotve's warriors.
Right, time to go kill this dude. Come on out. Oh, never mind. I guess I'll just go over and assassinate him from the side here. Or never mind. I guess he saw me out of the corner of his eye.
That's it! Die!
This one would never
Axe to the
come
back of
along.
the head.
I should find the others.
So they
Asked
are
about this
here.
landmine.
And let's boost up here and kind of scope them out a bit. So I believe they're just hanging out over here. So I just stuck a big marker on his head. Actually, we got 2 new skill points, so let's use them. So let's put some more into melee points. So this one should unlock this next set of skills up here. So what's this bill? So dual swap. So when dual wielding, hold right trigger and press button to swap weapon hands. I don't know why we would ever want to do that unless we had 2 different weapon types, I guess, if we wanted to like swap them in combat. So let's maybe go up here to the Way of the Bear, because then this should unlock the other 2. The next 2 skill paths that we can kind of plan our character around and go from there. So we can use Odin's Sight to basically mark these guys. Yes, we can whistle.
We should return to Notfall with our report while we can.
Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Funk. Ah, it's so satisfying to use the Hidden Blade again. I'm glad it's back. Alright, let's see what this guy's up to. He was examining some rocks. Or I guess he was building a rock fort, I guess, over here or something.
What do you think you're doing?
We just jumped into just a big pile of dudes. They broke our fall, I guess.
With each day we wait, Kjotve grows stronger.
We do not have the men to storm Kjotve's fortress. The losses would ruin us.
The losses have ruined us, Father. Until we cut off this serpent's head, it will poison us day by day, drop by drop.
The poison has already polluted our waters.
God save all. What happened?
Spies in our camp. 3 men sent by Kjotve to kill us as we slept. I returned the favor.
There, you see? This is what waiting brings. We must answer this insult.
They came from Notfall, that whaling village under Kjotve's control.
We hid him there. Burn it down before Kjotve learns his spies are dead.
He may have sent more. I can search the village while you round up the crew.
No need. I will send Hytham to search the area. You can rely on him while we are away.
We? Do you mean to join us?
I have not been bred for Valhalla like you, but this will be far from my first battle.
I do not like this, but I will not stop you.
Oh, he's a little upset. He doesn't like all that diplomacy. He's not a big fan of it.
Do not lead my son into the same storm that follows you.
Also, I love too that the blood's just like splattered all over her face, and then she's got like that emblem on her chest, and it's just it's covered in blood as well. A lot of nice touches. All right, so we're gonna take command of the boat. So if we go to the world here, so it's all the way over here. So we're gonna just sail our way over.
Need to row our way out.
Good sailing wind here, Eivor.
Warriors!
There we go. We got our sail.
When I was away, far
And
from
now we
these
can,
frozen shores, wondering
if I press the follow coast button, then it'll actually just autopilot us all the way over there and giving us all kinds of great stories. Or just giving us this pep talk as we go to murder a bunch of dudes. We can even turn on the cinematic camera So and this kind of returns from Origins and Odyssey. So now we can get like this big scope of the environment, which looks very pretty. Although I don't know why it went to that random shot of Eivor, but sure. I'm not a big fan of that transition. Also, what's up with that dude's arm? It's just like doing this. It's like shaking like crazy.
You know these isles best, Wolf-Kissed. Lead us to victory.
I will show the way, but you must lead us there.
Oh, Eivor.
I'm getting out of the cinematic camera. I'm not a big fan of what it's doing here. A lot of times with the cinematic camera, it's not always like close shots of you. It's like, it usually does like panoramic shots and a bunch of other stuff. Kind of like this. But alas, it was just doing this screen switching thing. It just wanted to highlight everyone in the boat, I guess, more than the environment itself for some reason. So now we're going to turn autopilot off. Because now we're going to, let's turn the boat. Come on, turn the boat. There we go. We're going to raid the shore. So raids are actually a big part of this game, where they're kind of like the big battles in Odyssey, but they're not really contained in like a center ring. Basically, we're going to run around and kill everybody. That's kind of our thing. And there's other objectives you'll have. Like right now, we've got to burn the supply wagons. So to do that, we grab our torch that we can do at any time, and we're going to chuck it at that wagon and maybe do a little bit better throw than what we just did there. There we go. I just wasn't hitting it at the right angle, I guess. And when we're on fire, we just have to dash and the fire goes away. Luckily, since we were on fire, we could light our arrows on fire and then just shoot them with it. I know why I'm attacking the assassin. Oh, the other cart's already on fire. That's perfect. I love that when Eivor's on fire, she's more concerned about the fact that it's new leather and less about the fact that she's, you know, on fire. Now, where is the other wagon? There it is. I don't want to get shot there. Bam. Is there some food around here I can eat? Oh, there's a little pot of it over here. But I can't interact with it, looks like. Oh, so there's another supply wagon on the hill. I'm very sad because, again, there's no regenerating health in this game, so I've got to eat food, I guess, to get my health back, but there's no food around here. Oh, we could have stomped them. We could have done our first stop, but I elected to just, you know, whack them in the face instead. That was the move I went for.
Ships are coming!
There we go. We completed our first raid. Wow. They're very excited about the fact that we finished that raid. So again, that's one of the easier raids, and they have a bunch of different objectives as you go out throughout the course of the game. This one was to destroy the supply wagons, but you'll have other more complex objectives that you'll have to do with some of the later raids. But it's definitely very different from like the very like claustrophobic fight a whole bunch of dudes and then fight a boss big battles that we had in Odyssey. That's for sure. I'm just blanking on the names of what they were actually called.
Barred.
So the door is barred, but it's a very simple way of getting around it. Let's go up here. So these books, these are the books of knowledge, and they're actually useful because they give you new abilities besides what, besides the abilities you have earning for them from the skill tree. You can also earn these as well. So again, there's ranged abilities and melee abilities. Again, similarly to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and we can just assign them to the different buttons there. So this one basically hurls a throwing axe to all enemies within range, which is pretty cool. Pretty handy to have. Yes, I'll use Odin's Sight so the prompt goes away. And then we're just casually hanging out in this town that's basically just lit on fire after our little raid. So let's go talk to Sigurd. We got a whole bunch of other dudes in green this time.
You reap a bloody harvest. Who are you, Gester? Name yourself.
I know his face. He met with your father not long ago.
I did, indeed. I am Guthorm, uncle to King Harold of the North. I speak for my nephew when there is need.
This is not King Harold's land. Why does he send warriors so far south?
You may ask him yourself, my lord.
Thank you, uncle. And you are Sigurd of the Raven clan, is that right? Son of the wise King Styrbjörn.
I am. And you are standing on his land, King Harold. Land we have reclaimed with blood and steel.
That I see, and I honor it. For I have not come to war against you, but for you, at the request of your father.
The canny wolf. Was this the plan he spoke of?
I offer my support. With my warriors, your Raven clan can take Kjotve's fortress and settle this rivalry for good.
This is good news, Eivor. The Wandering King will tip our fortunes.
Why risk your men to help us, King? Have you a stake in this fight?
This war between Kjotve's clan and your own has long simmered on my southern border. I wish to see it put to rest. There would be no peace while Kjotve lives. But there is much agreement between your father and me.
This blood feud runs deep, King Harold. We welcome your help, but I must lead the charge.
I see. Is this a question of honor?
It is. Many winters ago, Kjotve broke an oath to our fathers. He betrayed a friendly peace and slaughtered many.
I understand. Sigurd Jarl will lead the assault against Kjotve and his clan. Give him full command of my ships and my warriors. When your victory is in hand, Sigurd, find me at Alrekstadir, and we will celebrate together.
I'm sure nothing possibly could go wrong with this plan.
Our men will gather at Flor, near the mouth of the fjord northeast of here. Will you join us?
Hold a moment. You captain our longship, Eivor. Meet us there, and we will claim Kjotve's head for the gods.
Brother, I have waited too many years for this day. When Kjotve stands before us, give me the final blow.
You will have it, Eivor. You deserve it.
Eivor, give us a hand. Harald is generous with his troops. More than I would be.
I cannot fathom his game. He's either a young fool, or deceptively wise.
Whatever his reason, I have a good feeling this war is near its end.
And here we go. The game itself is now going to transition away from the day scene here as we go and try and get revenge. Revenge! Oh, hello there, Deno. Fine Friday to you. I hope you are having a wonderful day today. We're just chilling here playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Xbox One X. Because that's how we do here on the Xbox Drive. It's very exciting today. I'm finally glad to be able to show off this game to you guys. Because I've had it for a couple days now. I've been playing it non-stop. And I'm glad to finally be able to show it here on stream with y'all today. Although the stream will probably end pretty soon in about... We got another 10 minutes or so. Since we can only really show so much of the game. Let's grab more skill points. So we're going to put them into our melee abilities. So here I can show off more sections of the skill tree here. Since it is still shadowed and fogged. So besides this ability here, which is our dual swap ability that I went over before, basically switching weapon hands, we've also got perfect attack. Press right bumper during a weapon swing to do more damage on the next hit. That seems pretty cool. And then this attack here, we've got parry damage. Successful parries also deal damage to the attacker. Okay, that's interesting. I'm still on the fence about this game because I've already invested in so many others. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of game that honestly, and again, I can't really give my overall impressions or what my recommendation or anything like that. But, I mean, if you liked Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Origins, this is more of that type of game. So if you liked those games, it is that same type of game. But again, I can't say whether or not I recommend it or anything like that. That'll come next week. We'll have actually a full review of this game done by myself on the channel next week and on the podcast, as well as whether or not you should pick this up and all of the things that I like and dislike about it. So sometime next week, can't really say when, but definitely keep an eye on this channel for that if you want to know whether or not you should invest in this game for sure.
I will, but before we strike, I have a request.
Name it.
That Eivor may give challenge to Kjotve at the gate of his fortress. A battle to the death in single combat.
Is this what you want?
Kjotve robbed my father of all honor and dignity. I will win it back.
When honor is at stake, let none interfere. And if Kjotve should die before the battle begins, all the better for our chances.
Good, they have improved facial animations. Yeah, they have definitely improved since the last game, that's for sure. I mean, I don't think the ones in Odyssey were that bad, but there were some notable oddities in that game. But yeah, they definitely improved the face tech in this game, that's for sure.
Eivor, a word.
Basim, Hytham, this feud is not yours. Yet you fight it all
I'm looking forward to people's thoughts and reviews about it. Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see how the reviews are going to shake out about this game. I know there's a lot of hype going into it, and I'm really interested to find out what everyone else thinks about this game as well. I'm kind of already know where I kind of stand on it after about 15 hours with the game, but I'm curious to see what else everyone else is going to say. Yo, Mad Gaming 645, what is up? Happy Friday to you. I hope you are having a wonderful day today.
Not his reputation alone, but the order to which he belongs.
Yep, English.
Something of a rival clan to our own.
Hytham, I mean no disrespect to you or the Hidden Ones.
Play some Sea of Thieves, but today we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's a new game, although I'm pointing in the wrong direction. There we go. That's the flavor of the game today. It's brand new. I mean, it's not out yet, and that's why we wanted to play it. But I think Sean will play Sea of Thieves at some point. That's for sure. Just not today. Today is Assassin's Creed Day. That's what we're doing. So here we're gonna go be full Viking and try and take down Kjotve's fortress. Also, that it did some weird strange transitioning there.
Sigurd Whoreson, slink around my walls like a thief in the night. Face me here now.
Now we're about to fight our second boss battle of the game. This one's a little bit tougher than the last boss fight, but not too difficult.
Look at this. Once again, Abel Wolfkiss appears to take a swipe at me.
This guy's got not one but two-handed axes.
This is my father's shame. Today I take back the honor he lost. I call a home gang here against the Oathbreaker.
I will make you beg as your father begged Wolfkiss. Squeal as your mother squealed.
He's just a big jerk. That's what this guy is.
You destroyed my life. I will take yours.
You are weak, like your father was.
And we're instantly dead. But we're not actually dead.
Rise, Eivor. This is not your day to die.
Once again, I don't know how she knows that that's Odin, but sure, we'll go with that.
Why do you refuse to die?
We are not alone, Chatbe. The old father watches.
Oh, he means serious business. He's got his axes now.
My blade will drink your blood.
It's my two axes versus his two axes. We'll just throw some throwing axes at him and kind of keep our distance. Again, we don't want to get hit by any of his attacks because they do a ton of damage. Unfortunately, when we're using this two-axe style, there's not a lot of blocking we can really do. I'm conflicted on watching more so I'm not spoiled, but I do like what I see. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Unity. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, we're pretty early on in the game, but yeah, it's just, with single-player games like this, too, it's a little bit tricky to play them on stream, because, yeah, I don't like to ruin the game for anyone either, and I kind of take the same approach, but it is, I do like to show it off, especially since we've got it here early, but yeah, I hope I'm not spoiling too much for you. Again, it's only the first hour or two, and then after that, we're not going to go any further than that. So pretty much after this fight's over, we're going to be calling it, just so we don't spoil the game for you. But yeah, I definitely think that the Assassin's Creed games have definitely improved since Unity. Like I thought Unity was okay, but I definitely think Syndicate was a much better experience, or at least I liked it much more. And then Odyssey or Origins I really liked, and then Odyssey, again, one of my favorite games of the generation. I absolutely love that game. It's fantastic, and again, you'll hear more about what I think about this game next week, because I got a lot to say. I'm gonna grab these cloudberries. Stay back. When he's picking up these dudes, he's got pretty big reach, so we want to kind of keep our distance, like even more than before. Just toss a throwing axe at him. And here we go. I don't even think he hit him. He hit us once, other than at the very beginning. And of course, this type of scene should look very familiar to anyone who's played Assassin's Creed games before. Whenever you take down a target. That's Odin again. He's just a random dude with a beard.
Odin. What do you want of me?
You won your prize, Wolfkiss. The glory of my death. All for this?
And Kotve is being a bit of a jerk, so Odin's just teaching him a lesson, I guess.
Your cowardly father is empty sacrifice. Heed the price of our war, Wolfkiss. The harvest of 3 dead generations.
That's a really gross-looking skull. It's got just a root attached to it.
No. My clan will not be forgotten!
Jeez, Eivor just stole Odin's staff and he just impaled him with a tree.
I fought as I did, as hard as I did, to survive, for I know what awaits us in the end. Only darkness.
And of course, he's got a raven just hanging out in his mouth. Mythologies are always interesting, for sure. I've learned so much about Norse mythology from playing this game. I mean, you learn a lot in God of War as well, but I've learned so much. Learned so much from this game.
Raven Clan! Your lives are forfeit. Come forward if you must. Into the crucible of your doom.
Your father is dead, Gorm. His debt's repaid. Open the gates and you will be spared.
Wallow in shit, wolf-kissed. Archers, take aim.
Ravens, show no mercy.
Archers.
All right, here we go. We're gonna invade this fortress, but luckily we don't want to go through the front because that's what silly people do. We should be able to climb up the side here. Just climb up all here, or climb up this tree, I guess. Or nope. I could have swore I could climb up the tree, but maybe they fixed that. Maybe they patched that. I know we can climb up the ladder at least. Oh no! We fell down the ladder. All right, let's go up. Let's go up the side here. We're gonna use this lift. Oh. Let's just slide on down. Whee! Now let's mark a bunch of guys. Let's let those guys run past. That. So even though I don't think we can assassinate people here, or we can, I just don't want to, I don't think we're going to be able to assassinate too many of them, but if we could get the jump on some of these guys, I'd rather do that. Alright, we gotta go unlock the gate. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's the wrong button. Well, that's a useful tip for my playthrough. Yeah, I mean, that's, it's good to know where to go.
Odin is with us!
See, even though you have to worry about spoilers, you get to learn some nice things from when you start the game. That's for sure. It's one of the nice things that I think you're going to have an advantage of as well is some of the skill tree guides, because as I mentioned before, you don't really get a sense as to what skills you're building towards in this game. And I think that definitely being able to see some of the skills ahead of time with like a guide or an image is really going to help you do your character builds. Since it is kind of an RPG, you really want to plan your character out and know what skills are the best to go for, at least for the type of playstyle that you want. So I think that's definitely going to be one helpful tip for anyone who's going to be playing this for the first time next week, is definitely maybe you look up kind of some of the skill stuff and figure out what skills you should be working towards, which isn't really super clear from what I'm playing here. Smash! Oh, we just bury that axe in his face. I love it. So I don't think we can climb up this way. I think we have to go around the side, if I remember correctly. Although you would think I would remember this, because I literally just did this 2 days ago. Oh, that's wrong. So we should be able to just jump up here. And then jump up like this. And I tried to assassinate that guy, but it wouldn't. Yeah, when I first played Borderlands 3, I had no idea how the tree would fill up compared to the first two. Yeah, I mean, I love being able to plan my characters out. That was something that they actually did really well in both Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey. So I don't really love the way that skills are kind of set up here. I wish that you would be able to see how the skills would progress going forward, so you can plan your character out way better. Because am I wasting my time putting my points into the melee skills? Again, we'll find out when I'm way farther in this game. Just throwing a bunch of axes at people. We're trying to do our best Gimli impression using our throwing axes. I tried to get there in time for the stomp, but I did not make it in time.
Try the other way.
Not gonna lie, I'm really digging this this throwing axe skill. I didn't actually have this before in my other playthrough, but I am really digging it. I don't know why I'm attacking my own guys. All of the Viking armor kind of looks the same. It's slightly different colors around the arms, so it's kind of hard to tell who's who sometimes. Or maybe I'm just an old man. Maybe that's what's going on. All right, let's run inside the keep and confront Gorm.
Pursuit of vengeance has made you predictable.
You are a shadow of your father, Gorm. Weak and witless.
And you will leave this place as ashes on the wind.
Let's go. We're stuck here on the plank. Of course, Gorm's just running out the window. This kind of reminds me of the scenes from Gangs of New York, but with Vikings. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit like that. And like some of the raid battles kind of look very similar, because raids are a big part of this game, and which is basically you sail into a settlement and you basically take all of your Viking dudes and take out a bunch of other dudes, and it's just this really big battle that just plays out in this big open space. And again, it kind of reminds me of that as well. I never really put those two together though until you said that, but that makes a whole lot of sense.
We have the day. Let the coward go! Eivor, the breath of battle rises from my brow. The scouts will sing of this night.
We have won the day, but Gorm escaped. He fled north to King Harald's domain.
Let that bruised piglet run where he may. His father is dead. His clan is no more. We are the masters of Ryjavilke.
A toothless cub may grow to be a dangerous wolf.
Eivor, stop. And listen. You have reclaimed your honor. Enjoy the night's victory. Tomorrow, we will celebrate.
You're right, brother. You are always right.
Guthormur, relay news of our victory to your nephew, the king.
I have done so already, Sigurd. He'll be more than pleased, and will ensure you pride of place at his Althing at Alvikstadir.
Tell him we will come, battle-flushed and singing songs of glory.
Keep company with kings, and you will soon have a crown of your own.
If the fates have spun it so, linger here and loot what you can. I will bring news of our victory to father before he leaves for Harald's Althing.
I know, Sona. Another time.
And with that, that is the end of this scene as it transitions away. I'm pausing it here because this is now the end of our early access stream. Again, that we've been going for 2 hours now, and we unfortunately need to stop things here. But also, it's better this way too, because I'm not getting too far into the story, and again, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So thank you so much, everyone, for checking out this stream today, or if you're watching the video ID or vid ID here on YouTube as well, thank you so much for checking out this early look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Again, for review coming from myself sometime next week, and I'll tell you all more about that a little bit later, or if you subscribe to the channel, you'll see it as it goes live right away. Also, again, huge shout out to our friends at Ubisoft Canada for providing us a code for the game. It was super awesome for them to do so, and I'm glad that we were able to at least give you all this very first look at the game. Also, later tonight, we will be doing a live stream all about basically wrapping up our Xbox 360 series called The Roundabout at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So definitely come back for that. And until then, friends,